Here are the values of each of those names in 1 Chronicles 5:13. You've got Michael, 4317, Meshullam. Now, of course, Michael, the Archangel Michael, Brian. Meshullam, Marshall, 4918. Sheba is actually myself. And then Jorai, 3140. Jacquin, Michelle, 3275. Zia, Rhiannon, 2127. And Heber, 5677. Add them all up, 31101 equals the Bible verse total, divided by the 7 names to get an average of 4443, which means God. 3275 and Zia added together, 4502 is the age difference, again, between June, that's Brian's older sister, and younger sister, sorry? Older, that's right, I'm in third, yeah. It's their age difference, that's 1973 days. 5.402 years. Now her birthday is the day before mine. Mine's on the 19th of August.
Is it? I thought it was 8.
And so, yes, going back to June's birth date in the year 2007 until Brian's 69th birth date in the year 2013, when we've already crossed over, the time elapsed is 5.402 years. Will have elapsed. There's the days between the first solar eclipse and the last solar eclipse. Again, that number associated with Michelle, who is the reincarnated Mary Magdalene. Remember I said to you, you saw that the average number of that verse is 4443, and that is the number of occasions the word God is found in 3,877 verses of the King James Version of the Bible.
And how many verses are there in First Chronicles?
942 verses in First Chronicles. Isn't that amazing? Now, Brian...
That's actually the genetic line laid out from Adam down to David.
Right. Huh? Of course. Son of David. Okay. Ryan's two daughters, Tracy was born on May the 4th, 1968, and Nicole was born on November the 2nd in 1977. Now, they were conceived in 2 different houses, and they were both built in Canada. Brian built them both in Canada. And those homes were 44.3 kilometres apart. Now, this is the broad brushstrokes of the amazing synchronicity of the creation created by Brian, Yahweh, and how he reveals, again, using the numbers of distances, times, and converting it to language, as we've been showing you, using the James Strong 1830 concordance. Now that brings us to the reality that the world has been totally devoured by men who have developed universities and think tanks, just like the Tavistock Institute in London. And these places are totally dedicated to eliminating the free will of mankind, attempting to force their will on what your mind perceives as reality. Now, the only way to comprehend what Brian has been doing is to step back and review the thousands of drawings, videos, and internet pages he has revealed. This is the time of the revelation. This is what he's been doing. It has been a period of time. It's all up there on the internet, pinpointing key locations intrinsically interconnected to the Earth's physical reality of his creation, opened by the key of his rebirth, January 11th, 1944, back onto the Earth. It's marvellous. Now, the next slide is the location of Yahweh's home address on Nell Street. 150 Nell Street, Greensboro, Victoria, Australia, just happens to be, at that latitude, it just happens to be 31,680 kilometres around the Earth at that latitude, going through his, what, office where you sit at your computer?
No, the toilet.
The toilet. Your throne. Talking about the throne of
Exactly.
God.
That's where I do all my thinking.
That's right. And again, at that position there, it's 5,813 kilometres to the South Pole. Well, the height of the pyramid with the capstone in place just happens to be 5,813 pyramid inches. If you ask today, what does God do? He measures the earth. There's the pyramid with the capstone in place. I move on to the next one, the
Yep.
Grand Gallery. Okay. Now here we are with a diagram, the layout of the inside of the pyramid. This is the Grand Gallery. You can see that it's 286.1 pyramid inches high. Now that represents the
Go to the next one.
The next one?
Yeah, this is the top view.
Okay.
Grand gallery on the right, going through the antechamber. Distance to the far wall, etc. Gives you all the numbers.
Yes. It's all these numbers that you see over and over and over again in the creation. It's all here as a microcosm, if you like, in the pyramid. Okay. Now, the pyramid is 5,000 years old. It's the altar to the Lord, and it's intended to demonstrate divinity.
You can go to the next one. No, it's just expansive.
Okay. Oh, right. Reiterating, only the most advanced minds can comprehend the impossible. Yet, it is so. The genetics of the royal family opens a door through the passage, then on past the antechamber into the king's chamber, and revealing the 31101 number and the key, Julian date 243110 date, which is the key to the house of David, January 11th, 1944, the rebirth date of the returned Lord Jesus Christ, Yahweh. There it is amplified. Okay, this is a short presentation. I guess, I mean, there's so much to know, there's so much that Brian has revealed in all of his teachings. If you get a really good grasp of this presentation, then you have it. If you're able to communicate this to others, this is all that you need, although there is so much more. You'll all probably want to know much more, but this has got it here in this presentation. And as Brian says, there's no options, there's no election. And I said, I knew before I found him, it's either Yahweh or the highway. That's very, it's really straightforward. And in his words, he says, simply put, he has often told scoffers, it's not an election. And what anyone thinks, his words, makes no fucking difference. Because it's Yahweh or the highway. Okay. That's it. End of show. Yeah, guys, I hope that